During World War I, German Zeppelins played a notable role in aerial warfare, marking a significant chapter in the history of military aviation. These rigid airships, developed by Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, were primarily used by the German Empire for reconnaissance and strategic bombing missions. The first Zeppelins were designed and constructed in the early 20th century, with the initial successful flights occurring in the 1900s. By the time World War I began in 1914, Germany had a fleet of these airships ready for military use. Zeppelins were seen as advanced technological marvels due to their large size, long-range capabilities, and the ability to stay aloft for extended periods. Zeppelins were built with a rigid structure, composed of a framework of duralumin, an aluminum alloy, covered with fabric. They were filled with hydrogen gas, which provided the lift. These airships had multiple engines and could reach altitudes of up to 20,000 feet, although their operational ceiling was typically lower to avoid strong winds and anti-aircraft fire. Zeppelins could travel at speeds of around 50 to 60 miles per hour and had ranges exceeding 1,000 miles. One of the primary uses of Zeppelins was for reconnaissance missions over the North Sea and the Eastern Front. Their ability to hover over enemy lines for hours allowed them to gather crucial intelligence on troop movements, supply lines, and fortifications. This information was vital for planning military operations and coordinating attacks. Zeppelins are perhaps most famously known for their strategic bombing campaigns over Britain. The first such raid occurred on January 19, 1915, when two Zeppelins dropped bombs on Great Yarmouth and King's Lynn, resulting in civilian casualties and property damage. These raids aimed to demoralize the British population, disrupt industrial production, and force the British government to divert resources from the Western Front. The bombing raids continued sporadically throughout the war, with varying degrees of success. Zeppelins targeted cities like London, causing panic and demonstrating the vulnerability of the British Isles to aerial attacks. However, their effectiveness was limited by several factors, including poor weather conditions, navigational challenges, and the increasing effectiveness of British air defences. Despite their initial success, Zeppelins had significant vulnerabilities. Their large size and slow speed made them easy targets for anti-aircraft guns and fighter planes. The hydrogen gas used for lift was highly flammable, and many Zeppelins were destroyed by incendiary bullets or onboard fires. Advances in British air defences, including the development of more effective anti-aircraft artillery and the use of searchlights and fighter aircraft, further reduced the threat posed by Zeppelins. By 1917, the role of Zeppelins in bombing raids had diminished significantly. The German military shifted its focus to using heavier-than-air bombers, which were faster, more maneuverable, and less vulnerable to enemy fire. Zeppelins continued to be used for reconnaissance, but their strategic impact waned as the war progressed. The use of Zeppelins during World War I had a lasting impact on the future of aerial warfare. They demonstrated the potential of strategic bombing and the importance of air superiority. The psychological impact of the raids on civilian populations highlighted the need for effective air defense systems. The experiences and lessons learned from the use of Zeppelins influenced the development of airship technology and military aviation tactics in the years following the war. In summary, German Zeppelins were a formidable tool in the early years of World War I, serving both as reconnaissance platforms and strategic bombers. Their use marked the beginning of a new era in warfare, where control of the skies became as crucial as control of the land and sea. However, their vulnerabilities and the rapid advancement of aviation technology eventually rendered them obsolete as a primary weapon of war.